Immediately, the School of Illusion had attracted me. The Magister who taught us recognised me as an apt pupil who loved not only the spells of the science, but their philosophical underpinnings. There was something about the idea of warping the imperceptible energies of light, sound and mind that appealed to my nature. Not for me the flashy schools of destruction and alteration, the holy schools of restoration and conjuration, the practical schools of alchemy and enchantment, or the chaotic school of mysticism. No, I was never so pleased as to take an ordinary object and by a little magic make it seem something other than what it was. Masters of the other magical schools are quick to discount illusion, and at first glance you can't really blame their logic. Each school in its own distinct way changes the fabric of the world. Each one can unravel the foundational threads of physics and biology, reweaving it in a way that suits them. With destruction you can manipulate the invisible energies and forces that comprise the mundus, turning the vapours of the air into a dagger of ice, or producing enough heat to create an inferno without a spark or fuel. But in their potential to change reality, the other schools of magic are somehow simpler. If you terraform an entire province, as Talos did to Cyrodiil, it is a tremendous feat, but when you stop abiding by the rules of reality, new possibilities present themselves. Illusion magic, presenting an imitation of change, without the change occurring, well, that not only saves a great deal of energy for the caster, but it also presents an opportunity for deception. If one individual's perception of reality is different to another's, chaos will inevitably ensue. And at that point, does it matter what the true reality is? Reality is only relevant in that it is perceived by the sentient beings experiencing it. Don't worry, we're going to simplify these ideas soon, and I'll explain all of these ramblings. But what's important about the subjectiveness of reality is what master illusionists can achieve by abusing it. There was once a man, a mighty imperial battle mage, who deceived an entire empire for a decade. With illusion magic, he was able to masquerade as the emperor, but that is a story we'll get into very soon. Hey guys, it's Drew here and welcome back to FudgeMuppet. When you're wandering Tamriel, eating spell tomes and casting spells without a second thought, it's quite easy to underestimate the power of magicka. After researching alteration, I realised that the school I had used to cast Candlelight was in actuality capable of defying the power of the gods. After researching enchanting and soul trapping, I learned of magic's capacity for malevolence, and now, a week later, I'm back in the Arcanium, pestering Urab Guru Shub for all his library's information on illusion magic. If you saw my lesson on alteration, you'll know that that school gave me an existential crisis, in which I questioned just how reliable and formidable reality was. But at least with alteration, whether it changed or not, reality was real. It's the same for you as it is for me. Illusion, on the other hand, this has me worried, as it questions the reliability of your perception. Things you may hold as undeniable facts, like your identity, like the smell of lavender or the taste of honey. Nothing is definite in a world with illusion magic. In this lesson, we're going to explore everything about this school, from the fundamentals, to its use throughout history, to its frightening potential in the wrong hands. It's a surprisingly useful school, whispered Massifa defensively. You see, it's all concerned with magicka's ability to alter the perception of objects without changing their physical compositions. Removing sensual data, for example, to cast darkness or remove sound or smell from the air. It can help by a red-haired vampire woman leapt out of the shadows in front of them, knocking Flaxif on his back. Nitra quickly unsheathed her sword, but Massifa was faster. With a wave of her hand, the creature stopped frozen, her jaw scant inches from Flassif's throat. Flassif pulled out his own blade and finished her off. "That's illusion?" asked Osmic. "Certainly," smiled Massifa. "Nothing changed in the vampire's form, except its ability to move. Like I said, it's a very useful school." The book Incident in Necrom quoted above shows the school of illusion in practice, and it makes you wonder, if illusion is just a trick with no real impact, how was Massifa able to freeze the vampire in place, as if she were engulfed by a frost destruction spell? The answer to that would be, the illusion spell's deception was so believable that the vampire truly believed she'd been frozen in place. Simply put, the illusion school of magic involves manipulating the mind and senses of the target. target. While alteration affects the entire world, thus being tied to the laws of nature and the distortion of those laws, illusion ignores those laws altogether. Illusion magic involves two parties, the caster and the target. Rather than modifying the physical world, an illusion spellcaster modifies the conscious mind of the target. And while I say target, there can be any number of targets. However, the difficulty of the spell would inevitably increase. While there is little documented research on the following supposition, I'd argue that illusion is the school of magic with the most variables. If you are altering the natural order or redirecting the energies of the mundus, a skilled sorcerer can quite easily calculate the effort required in doing so. However, each and every mind is unique, from animals and lesser creatures to the sapient races, to each individual of every sapient race. No two minds are the same. Therefore, a simple illusion spell is not going to affect a wise Altmer the same way it would affect a troll or a dog. For illusion to be successful against an intelligent subject, the mage must make his deceptive mirage flawless. These intricacies are rarely accounted for in discussions of the school's utility, and that's a common theme I'm noticing when looking into the magic of Mundus. Mainstream descriptions of illusion tell of the school's best uses, like swindling a merchant, sneaking around undetected, or driving a creature into a frenzy. There's plenty of talk about illusion changing a target's visibility, producing or removing light or noise, charming a target, enhancing or removing a target's courage, preventing a target from seeing or moving, or allowing the target to see in total darkness. The list goes on and on, yet the list barely scratches the surface of what this school can achieve. While Masifa's feat, stopping the irate vampiress in her tracks, was impressive, there are examples far greater than this one, though I can understand why the Cyrodiilic Empire would want to hide it from the public. If the masses knew just how powerful illusion could be, any number of morally corrupt mages could come out of the woodwork, with ambitions to destabilise the mighty imperial throne, taking it for themselves. Believe it or not, only 245 years ago, which is next to no time in Tamriel's long history, a powerful sorcerer used illusion to take the imperial crown, usurping the throne without a single living soul exposing his deception. That sorcerer was named Jaeger Farn, and in his 10-year reign, a great deal of turmoil befell the prosperous empire. In the fourth installment of A Brief History of the Empire, we get this account of the plot. Our current emperor, his awesome and terrible majesty, Uriel Septim VII, son of Pelagius IV, has the diligence of his great aunt Morahatha, the political skill of his great uncle Uriel VI, and the military prowess of his great grand uncle Uriel V. For 21 years he reigned and brought justice and order to Tamriel. In the 389th year of the Third Era, however, his imperial battle mage, Jaeger Farn, betrayed him. Uriel VII was imprisoned in a dimension of Farn's creation, and Farn used his sorcery of illusion to assume the Emperor's aspect. For the next 10 years, Farn abused imperial privilege, but did not continue Uriel VII's schedule of reconquest. It is not yet entirely known what Farn's goals and personal accomplishments were during the 10 years he masqueraded as his liege lord. In the 399th year of the Third Era, an enigmatic champion defeated the battle mage in the dungeons of the Imperial Palace and freed Uriel VII from his other dimensional jail. Before usurping the throne, Farn had been a valuable asset to the Empire and a source of counsel to the Emperor. In the words of Abner Farn, former head of the Elder Council and member of the legendary Five Companions, "We Farns have held positions of power throughout Cyrodiil since the days of the Potentate. We are prized for our loyalty to the Empire, our deft political machinations, and our ruthless subjugation or elimination of dissenters within Imperial territories. What we do is grim work, but it is necessary if the Empire is to endure." That would explain how Jaeger was able to reach such an influential position by Uriel VII's side. In a meeting with the Emperor to discuss rumours of treachery, Jaeger, a master of both irony and illusion, enacted his plan, using the Staff of Chaos to trap Uriel in the pocket dimension ruled by haunting nightmares. Under the guise of his grand illusion, Farn systematically removed all of the former Emperor's trusted allies from their positions, replacing them with his own loyal lackeys. His apprentice, Rhea Silmain, learned of his ruse, but Farn killed her for it. The illusion may just have lasted a lifetime, but the spirit of Rhea appeared in the dreams of the King of Wayrest, setting in motion Farn's downfall. If not for supernatural intervention, the School of Illusion, in the hands of a master illusionist, could have changed Tamriel more than any alteration spell in existence. Yes, illusion by its very definition is the appearance of change, only as real as a hallucination. Yet the Imperial Simulacrum, the name given to Farn's reign, changed the course of history drastically. The other schools of Magicka aren't capable of being as subtle as illusion, and that's where the true danger lies. If you alter reality, like Talos terraforming Cyrodiil, everyone is forced to adjust to the change. Everyone is on the same page. But if you deceive everyone around you into perceiving change that isn't really there, then you can capitalise on the madness that follows. Had Jaeger Farn used some honest spell to slay the Emperor and claim the Ruby Throne for himself, there would have been an uprising, and regardless of his power, his head would have been mounted on a pike over the city gates. But with illusion, the entire population of the Empire humoured their trustworthy Emperor's decisions. They fought countless unnecessary wars, believing wholeheartedly that it was Uriel VII giving the commands that nearly drove the Empire into the ground. And what's more, there is something obscenely invasive about the misuse of illusion spells. Hell, even the correct use of illusion is concerning to me. One's own mind is sacred. It's the one thing that belongs entirely to the individual. If you were to be tortured by a corrupt king, he could have you stretched, whipped bloody, even drawn and quartered, but he couldn't touch your consciousness. That's yours and yours alone. Yet with illusion magic, a powerful mage could toy with your sanity. A sadistic sorcerer could drive a loving husband to madness, turning the visage of his wife into that of a monster, making him kill his beloved partner. It makes me question the concept of insanity. If one's perception of reality is so easy for an illusionist to meddle with, couldn't one potent frenzy spell condemn an honest mortal to an afterlife in Sheogorath's Shivering Isles? I've seen the Mad God's realm firsthand, and I wouldn't wish lunacy upon my worst enemy. It is a troubling train of thought to indulge, and were it not for the abhorrent art of soul trapping, I'd certainly be willing to consider illusion as the most evil manifestation of magic on Tamriel. I'll leave it at this: be steadfast and sure of yourself, and be wary of illusionists, for deception is at the very core of their school. And there you have it, guys, the School of Illusion, its history, and its perilous potential. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Drew, and I'll see you next time.